Good. So we should be recording with sound this time. Rita, how you like me now? All right. So it's good, and that'll be in the video, so everyone will know that you're famous. All right. When I share this on YouTube and I actually mention you and direct people to your personal Facebook page and that sort of thing, it's going to be great. So again, I want Walt. I want Walty here in sort of like actual real life color. I want him just sort of loosely ghosted or superimposed over this nice pink background. And there's a number of ways I can do it. I'm going to try this technique first with just creating a mask on this top layer and painting away stuff that I don't want. And we'll see how it looks. So what you do to create a mask is you can just tap this little icon down here in the layer menu. If you see me down, I'm on the layer menu here. If you see me down there, if you hover over that, that's going to say like add a layer mask. Or up here in the actual layer drop down, you can choose layer mask, and you can choose whether to reveal everything off the bat or hide everything off the bat. I'm going to reveal it all, so nothing will look, if I hide it all, my whole layer will go away and I start painting in stuff that I want to reveal. But if I reveal it all, the layer will stay the same, and then I can paint away stuff that I want to mask. If that doesn't make sense, it'll probably make sense in a minute when we get going. So I'm going to choose layer mask, reveal all. You get a little mask icon over here. And you see that when things are all revealed, your mask icon is white. What we'll do is we'll paint on the mask in black, and anything where we place black will disappear and the layer behind it will shine through. Okay? You say, well, why not just use the eraser tool or something like that? Because this is a non-destructive property. Once you're all done and you've spent hours on it, if you don't like it, you can simply delete it and your layer is still pixel perfect, intact. Or lots of, if you like paint with the eraser and stuff, you have to like go back and undo and things if you don't like something. But if you're painting, you can, if you don't like some of the black you've painted in, you can just paint again in white, right? So you don't have to undo all these steps. It's a more artistic way to hide and reveal things, and it's just a much more powerful way to get things done. So I want to make sure that I'm not only on the layer, but that I'm on the mask itself, and I want to get black as my forecolor. If you've got weird colors in here, just tap the default and then just toggle the black to the front. Okay, this will always revert you to a white fill with a black background or a black stroke. And if you want to bring the black to the front, just tap this little reverse and you'll have your default black in the front. Okay, what you do now is you get yourself a brush, because we're going to paint on this with a brush. I have a really, really large brush right now. You see it's at like 2,000 pixels. I'm going to tone that down here quite a bit, and now I've got a decent sized brush. Now when I'm masking, I like to use a brush that has sort of a soft edge to it. You see all my brushes sort of in here. I like to just go with sort of a basic one that has like a soft round edge on it. And I've got a pretty decent size. I'm on my mask, it's important. I'm in black, and my opacity is at 100%, okay? If I start painting, you'll notice that I'm in essence erasing or masking away parts of my layer that's called Walt. My layer is still all there and it's all good. What I'm doing is I'm painting in a mask that allows me to create opacity between the top layer and the layer behind. I'm in essence artistically painting away elements of this layer without disturbing or destroying the layer. Because let me show you what happens now. If I don't like that, if I do all this work and I don't like it, I can just tap the layer mask itself and I can drag that down to the trash and it will go away. Well, I told it to apply. I shouldn't have done that. When you do drag it away, if you want to undo your changes, tell it, don't tell it apply, just tell it delete, and your whole mask will go away. But what I'm saying, you see how my layer is actually still the same. It was just the mask that was creating the difference that you see. Now, if I really like this, but it's too deep, I can toggle back to white here, and I can paint, oh, I'm sorry, again, make sure you're actually on your mask, and I can paint some of that back in. Oh, crud. I got to get back on white. I got to be on your mask, and you've got to be on white. And so what I can do is I can softly, just gently paint some of that layer opacity or that layer opaqueness, right back in there. And I can touch this up all that I want. I can spend all day just making it super soft. See how Walt's just sort of fading into the stuff behind? And so I can go back to my black. Remember, black will take away, white will build it back in. And I can just keep I can just gently go in here and I can just kind of begin to create these super soft things. Now, if you're like, I like it, but it's not soft enough, what you can do with your brush is take your opacity down, right? Take it down to like 50%, and now you have an even more ghosty sort of bleed through happening over here, right? And I said, I like that quite a bit. Let's take it down to 10%, and go in here and just keep gently fading Walt into his background, right? And you can duplicate it. You can just get super artistic with it, right? Just keep sort of painting in or painting away what you want. You're like, wow, I've got this really cool like fade effect here. And then again, if you want to build some of it back in, if you've overdone it, go back to white and just gently sort of build it back in. Your artistic license with this is kind of limitless. But this is where you're seeing all these really nice images that were created in Photoshop where multiple photos are just sort of blended and painted together to create this really soft transitional thing that's going on. It's called a layer mask. It's super versatile, it's non-destructive, and you just paint opacity in and out to blend different images together. You might think that'd be useful in your photo editing classes and stuff. Yeah, it's like a really, really nice tool, okay, to just gently blend things together. It's good. And so if I go down here and I decide that I just don't like Jiminy Cricket, right, get my opacity back up, make sure I'm painting in white, and just sort of make Jiminy, go back away, I just paint more of my layer, my initial Walt layer back in here, right? It's just super artistic, but see now it gets kind of hard around the edges here. So I'm going to go back to black. I'm going to make my opacity back down. I'm going to get a slightly smaller brush. And I'm again just going to sort of softly kiss in the background here in areas that I want. Right? It's just, you can just sort of have a ball with this stuff. Just painting and fading things and blending things into one another until you've achieved the effect that you're looking for. That is a simple layer mask tutorial. And then, save your work. Anybody want to see anything specific before I turn off the video? No, you guys just want to paint on your layer mask, and that's what I want you to do for the next 20 minutes. Just have fun with that, do everything you want to do, and then we'll talk about different stuffs.
You can keep adding layers, right?